Hey guys, this is T-Lo with Omnia Fishing. I'm here with Seth Feider in the studio. We're going to go over Sabine River and the Bassmaster Elite Series event that was just there. Talk to Seth a little bit about how that tournament went for him, his practice, as well as the actual event. So, Seth, just break it down for us real quick. What were some of the features of the Sabine? How does that place set up in terms of cover and structure, and what were you looking for?
There's really a lot going on there just because you have so many different rivers you can fish. Looking back when the tournament was over, there was really only 2 rivers that played, but, we had at least 5 or 6 in options, and they all really vary a lot in how they're set up. I ended up fishing Taylor's, which is a really natural looking river. It's a lot of bank grass and, some pads and, I don't know the right word for it, kind of water willowish stuff, but it wasn't. Some of the other rivers, like the Sabine, the area that the guys caught them in there was like real industrial, it's seawalls and docks and metal things in the water, laydowns, things of that nature. Those ended up being the 2 that played, but each river you go up's kind of got its own little feel and little different nuances to each one of them, but I ended up fishing in Taylor's, and that was all just pretty much natural banks, tall cane on the bank with little clumps of pads, and then I don't know what it was, but it's kind of this viney green grass that grew off the bank. It's kind of like water willow, but it wasn't.
Okay, cool. Talk a little bit of how practice went for you. What made you pick Taylor's over that other industrial river-looking system?
Yeah, I actually never even practiced in the Sabine. First day of practice, I was in the Natchez, and I had a decent practice where I caught some keepers and stuff, and was kind of planning on fishing there in the tournament, and I went to Taylor's and saw a couple 2-pounders, which doesn't sound like much, but, those are difference makers there, and so I kind of ended up focusing on, I felt like I'd get more bites in the Natchez, but I didn't see, they're all, 13-inch fish, and I never saw a 2-pounder. I didn't think I was going to get as many bites in Taylor's as I ended up getting, but like I said, I saw a couple 2-pounders in there, so that kind of locked me into that area.
So with your practice and going into Taylor's and what'd you call the other place?
Natchez.
Natchez.
Yeah.
Did what you find in practice, did that translate into what happened in the tournament for you?
Yeah. I mean, the fish, they didn't exactly stay put, but the pattern held. I kind of just had to fish in there. There was specific little stretches they got on, but they were different every day, and I kind of just put my trolling motor down in there and kind of focused on maybe 5-mile stretch of river, just fishing up and down both sides on the banks. But the fish were really shallow. They were on the bank in that little vegetation there was. Everything was main river. There's a lot of oxbows and backwaters in that area, but going there in June, I felt like the fish wanted to be out in the main river, so that's where I focused my efforts, and just really didn't do a lot of running around once I got there. Just put the trolling motor down, and I'd fish for a couple 2-3 miles, just going down the bank and getting a bite here and there. And like I said, there were little stretches. You'd go half a mile without a bite, and then you'd catch 3 or 4 in 30-40 yards.
Sure. Cool. Go into baits. What did you end up using in the tournament? What worked for you, and maybe what did you have as a backup plan for other baits that kind of a 1-2 punch rather than if you were just focusing on one thing?
Yeah, I kind of kept, it was 1-rod Todd this tournament. I had multiple baits on the deck and messed around with those. I did catch a couple on a buzz bait. I threw a frog around quite a bit, and I read a bite on that, which was real surprising with how shallow they were and what they were in. But I ended up catching them. I think every fish I weighed flipping a small jig. It's a 3/8 ounce Outcast Tackle Stealth Fighter, black and blue, with a goat Z-Man trailer on there, just something real compact and small. And I went to the jig to actually target bigger fish. I mean, majority of the bites I was getting were 10 to 13-inch fish, and it seemed like when I flipped a jig, I got more of those. I know it sounds ridiculous, but those 14, 15-inch fish, which are, the difference between getting paid and not. I mean, so that's kind of why I went with that. And Just tried to fish for those a few 2-pounders every day.
Bigger bites.
Yeah.
For at least for that body of water.
Yep.
Going into that event, obviously, the bites were tough, catching a lot of small fish. What did you think it was going to take to, make the cut? And what did you think you would have needed to, potentially win that event? And with the final winning weight, did that surprise you with it being low or being high?
No, I'd say the winning weight's right on. I mean, it's pretty much every time we go there, somewhere between 9 and 10 pounds a day, you make the top 10, and then, that old 10 to 12 pound range a day you win. Usually it's somebody will catch a big bag one day, a 15, 16 pound bag, and just kind of ride it out and end up winning the event. But as far as checks cashing goes, I figure it'd take about 6 pounds a day to get paid. Because even a limited just keep, like the 12 inchers there don't weigh a pound. They're like 3/4 of a pound, maybe a little more, but a limit of those was not going to get you paid. You had to find, like I said, some better, a 1.5 was a really good fish.
Yeah. Do you like these kind of derbies, or would you rather have like a slugfest?
I do like them. I wouldn't want the whole year to be like that, but it's nice to mix it up a little bit. And I enjoy river fishing like that. It's back to old school fishing. Got a bunch of guys staring at live scope. It was just a dirty river bank beating tournament, and I enjoy those.
Cool. Seth, thanks for being a part of this.
Yeah,
and
thanks for having me.
Going over it.